Hey guys, good morning. How you doing? It's Thursday, but that's not what this is about. I'm going to save that. I'll end up doing 2 videos today, and I'll save this for some other day. I haven't done, I don't think, an RCZM video in quite a bit, and I just had a pretty interesting attack. First failed, then succeeded on this guy, Armani. These are not all fails, by the way. I've been donating. That was a donation also. This one I hit attack with my AFK combination loaded up, and then just for giggles, I beat him with warriors the next time. I thought I had warriors, I did not. But then just for giggles, I wanted to see what it looked like unloading cryos on a beach. It was not that interesting. Anyway, we're here to talk about this. So, failed on him the first time, and it was a solid fail. Looking at this base, and thinking to myself, not a really good... I mean, I could try it with warriors if I'm trying to make my life harder, but we're not always about that. Sometimes I do things just for fun, and sometimes I do things because they're practical. So, in this case, I came up with the strategy of using Smoky RCZM and getting into the blind spot of this rocket launcher. You've got a huge place to stand there. And this fellow has kind of made the mistake of having all his continuous damage stuff all back in this area, so that kind of freed me up to work in the middle of this base. So I think the first time around I decided I would BART out this, and then that left this cluster down here for me to shock and try to deal with. Didn't end up working the first time around because honestly the really powerful thing about RCZM, as really is the case with any troop combination, I guess, is getting them into the right position, or at least with the squishy troops, that matters a lot. Warriors, it's important to get them into the right position, which is on the HQ. Heavy Zuka in the right position where the heavies are taking fire and the Zukas are not, and so on. So getting them into the right position when you're talking about RCZM is a little tricky because you've got 5 different troop types. Depending if you throw the heavies in there, 4 or 5 different troop types to walk. So get them into position, and you'll see that part all goes pretty well. The trouble is, we'll get them there, and then I'll show you. So took out those first 2 towers, looked at that mortar, decided I didn't like it, and got that as well. So now I'm thinking, okay, I can just focus my attention. From my landing spot, I can just focus down this way. Doesn't end up working that way. So there's our drop. Get everybody gathered up. We catch a mine in here, which is beautiful. That gives us some damage, so the medics have a reason to stay with the group. And here we'll put it back to regular mode. So critters and a shock. Missed my shock on the rocket launcher, unfortunately. But that's really not the fail here. The fail is is here. This is the problem with this troop combination, using it in this way. Now I'm standing, there's a whole bunch of free GBE over here. That's normally very nice, but in this case not, because that's not what I want my troops to be doing. So you'll sort of watch this attack fall apart from here, because I just can't seem to get my troops all gathered and concentrated and focusing on the things that I really need to kill right now. You can see that the blaster's causing me problems, and there I've hit that shock. So now all of those towers are out of commission temporarily, but I'm trying to get my troops gathered. Flared down to the boom cannon. Boom cannon died, troops started walking back away again, and this is just reducing my effectiveness here, because we're doing too little damage in too many places. Just little bits and pieces, and this is no good. Down here, the Zukas are about to become exposed, and again, try to gather up. It's just not working, and it's not going to work. I end up coming back to this area, and at that point, I had so few troops left that I got up also so little GBE, because this is unboosted. I just got up the GBE to flare backwards and flared back towards the beach, and then hit retreat, because I mean at this point, just not enough troops left for what we need to do here. So thought about it a minute or two, figured I would go, looks like it was 3 actually, Figured I would do pretty much the same idea, but with a twist, and the twist in this case is going to be that instead of removing, oops, that's not what we wanted, instead of removing the towers up top here, going to remove the ones down below, still standing in that same spot, and shocking over here with critters. And that sort of leaves the blaster to be dealt with later, but the idea is going to be that once we have cleared to here, we'll be able to flare back, and that should keep everybody grouped up. Again, with the free GBE, this will be nice, and then we can start working forwards again and finally deal with the blaster along with this this cluster at the back of the base. So I kind of had to change my thinking, separate the blaster out from the calculations, and just, you know, it's a blaster, it's a pain, but it's not, you know, it's not game breaking. The critters help with that quite a bit. So remove those two towers, and this is going to make all the difference in the world. You'll see at the end of the hit. Most of the rifles, not to spoiler alert, most of the rifles end up dying, but quite a few of the Zookas remain, and that's always what you want because that's where you're getting the big damage. Didn't end up catching that mine this time, which was a pity. I was actually hoping to. I think it was right back in there somewhere. I was actually hoping to get that mine again. That would have been perfect, but didn't. So come out of smoke, critter shock. Looking to make a big dent in a hurry, and see, this is working way better because the things that I'm wanting to attack are closer to me, and that's really the crucial difference here, so that by the time my troops start to stray downwards over here, everything that I need dead is dead, except for the blaster again, which the plan for dealing with that, actually these critters down here, 2 medics right there in the middle, 2 medics just would not move, just stood there healing each other up. Super annoying, and I tried with 2 smokes to save them, and just they wouldn't have it. Suicidal medics, great. I hate medics. I mean, I don't, they're useful, but man, they're a pain in the neck. So shocking this stuff, trying to keep some critters and rifles alive, because that's my defense against the blaster, really. And we're gonna medkit a couple of times because we're about to walk face first with rifles into flamethrowers. But I do want that flamethrower and the blaster down, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Medkit will do. And once the blaster drops, now we're pretty safe. Flare back up against the wall. Machine gun can't range. Flamethrower can range, but really only the critters. And then the mortar is going to pick off a couple of rifles. 3 rifles, looks like. 1 just barely is in range, and so 3 are taking damage, because that's how it works. And from this point on, nothing can touch us. So, and a ton of, like I said, about 2/3 of the Zookas left there. It was like 8, 9, 8 or something in the boats, with 13 being a full boat of Zookas. So that is most of our Zookas, and he had most of his shield up, but that doesn't matter, because if you have a minute with 2/3 of your Zookas to work on somebody's shield, the shield is not going to survive. So, sort of the evolution of the thought process there. Started with the one plan, sort of fell apart. No, not sort of, definitely fell apart. Changed it up just a wee bit, and ended up working so much better. But I do recommend trying to learn how to walk your RCZM. It's a great combination, but it is a little tricky to get into the proper place, like I said. Actually, let's go back to the drop. I've been working on this drop a little bit. Rifles, although they walk fast, unload very slowly. So pay attention to the order. We're not even going to look at what happens up there. Don't care about it. So pay attention to the order of the drop on the beach. I'm going to start with the 3 boats of rifles and get them out pretty quickly, and then I'm just going to let them walk until the boats are about, or a little more than half unloaded, and then I'll drop the Zookas, who unload faster even though they walk slower. It's all very contorted, so it takes some getting used to. And also, you can't just drop everybody willy-nilly like with warriors. So there's the 3 boats of rifles, and we're just going to let them unload about halfway and get out ahead. Now with the Zookas, and let them unload a little bit, and everybody else who will catch up because they all move quickly, and then a flare to get them gathered. And that has been working pretty well for me. You can now see the rifles pulling out ahead of the Zookas. In that situation, you often want to, like, that rocket launcher could have fired a little bit on the front of the formation, and again, that would have provided damage. Or if there happens to be a mine, I guess that was over here. That was the mine I clipped last time. Not a bad thing to hit it. The rifles can take a mine, and then the medics will try to keep up to heal them. So, not a very, very tricky drop, but it does have some finesse to it, I guess. But definitely worth learning. Great combination. You can see how much this guy had for ice. That's a lot of building health. 4 and then 1 for damage. So, I mean, even with the 4 building health, just these guys, when they come out of smoke here, just start shredding things because there's a lot of damage. Rifles do a lot of damage. Zookas, obviously, but rifles also do a lot of damage. So, anyway, that's what I've got for now, and I have to go figure out what the heck I'm doing on War Factory, and I will catch you some other time.